Good morning. Well, let's take a look at this lifting ring. Oh, of course. Oh. There. Oh my. I totally just redid my files yesterday. I forgot to do that. Here, I'm just going to download it from our conversation again. Excuse me. I totally screwed up a bunch of my stuff on my computer trying to get the Shaper app to work on Fusion 360. And I screwed up a bunch of my other plugins and apps. Alright, where am I looking here? Right here. Lifting tab for gouging. Okay, now it should be in here. Now it should be in here. Right there. Perfect. Alright. So the issue I see here is we got setups, and then we look under here and it looks like you created a setup maybe that this one is under, but this toolpath, but there's no real setup that this one's under. It's kind of just defaulting to origin, and that's what I think is going on while you're getting this alert. Etch mode not cutting, profile. Let's see what that's about. Yeah, I think we're just gonna still call it cutting all the way through and let the system figure the rest of it out. I don't know if you need to actually switch it over to etching, because the post processor probably doesn't see that or understand that anyways. It's not a piece of information that'll get carried along. I would make sure we just go to through like normal. We're going to treat the etching tool like a cutting tool, knowing that the machine and the way it's set up is going to take care of how it functions. Okay. And we just don't have a setup for this one. We can see this by, like, there's this shape, but there's no real setup for it. It has no setup above it, it looks like to me. Oh, right here, it does. Holy, am I blind? Or maybe I just didn't have it open. I would have them on the same setup. That's the point that's going to have it so you don't screw up bad. Let's take a look at this again. I am going to just start in some new manufacturing here. Let's just get rid of this. Delete. Let's get rid of all this stuff too. And I see what you did with that. I like the idea of just going around this. Another thing I wanted to show when I did look at your toolpaths quickly before is you can pick where you start. So that you might want to start in different locations than it had selected on from your choices before. Okay, let's start a setup first. And I'm missing some of the geometry, so let's make it visible. Alright. So we're using the XR, so let's put the box point up here. What the heck? Sorry, the music channel I'm listening to in the back has some banking commercials going on. Okay. We're going to just turn it sideways so I can fill up the screen a little better with what's going on. Yeah, see all my plugins are all screwed up even for OBS. My keyboard and stuff are gone, so I don't know when I'll get that back. Alright, so we're putting the stock box point here. There, let's turn this so it's a little bit more. Your computer on your XR would be in this corner relative. And we're going to use the same setup for both tool paths. Then we know 100% it's coming from this same point, because that's what's going to matter ultimately. Then we know both these tool paths relationship are exactly the same in relationship to the table. So in here we can just select this part, I guess. Let's just select it all the root cam, so it envelops everything that we have. And for the stock, it's got a 1/4 inch, which makes perfect sense. And program name. I'm not going to put anything in here because I'll show you how to take each tool path out of the setup as individual ones and export them. Okay. Now from here, this is where we're going to start making the tool paths, and hopefully it gives me access to whatever tool you're using there. Yeah, heavy air marking. Here's the cutting. So let's take the marking tool you've developed, and we're going to grab all the NM motors, what that sketch looks like. Perfect. Except I hate something that's going on here. We'll come back and take a look at that. Why is there overlap? E T E R have overlap. S. Oh yeah. Let's get in there and just let's get that cleaned up before we do this stage. Design. We're going to start a new sketch just so we know it's clean. I'm going to come in here and just project the geometry that we're going to want to use. Okay, so we're going to use this sketch instead, and hopefully those errors don't persist. Go through and select that tool again. We're going to come in and select that new sketch, sketch 3. There it is. And let's see if it's those, yeah, so those errors don't exist anymore. Kind of don't like that very much, that angle. But we can go back and change that in a minute. So as we move through here, we're going to make sure we're center cutting. And do we want smoothing? I guess we could put it in there. And we're definitely not going to use any feed optimization for the marking cut. No lead in, no lead out, no pierce clearance. And we're also going to want to assign a few lead in positions. So this is where the torch will end up starting. And I honestly haven't done any marking myself yet. I have all the stuff. I just need to actually do it. And then, I don't know if these really matter, but let's just start in the corner. Okay, let's see what that develops for us. Alright, that's looking okay. Yeah, I hate this line. We're going to fix that. And I hate this, like, weird little line. You know what? I bet you this has to do with the tolerance here. I'm going to go back and edit that. Let's see what happens if I put in less tolerance, less smoothing. See if it makes that. Yeah, right, that's our first tool path. Now we're just going to make another tool here, or we're going to go into that new setup we made, setup 3, and right click and go new operation. New operation, cutting 2D profile. So that's another way to access the menu that's way less convenient. So you just go to here, and this time we'll select your cutting tool instead. Okay. And going to go into geometry. I'm just going to select this body. Left hand compensation. You could probably get away with maybe some feed op for that inner circle. I'm not sure how big it is. I'm going to apply it anyway, see what happens. And a little bit of a lead in radius. Could probably do a big lead in, no lead out, no pierce clearance, and a little bit of finishing overlap. Okay, let's develop that toolpath. Actually, I'm going to come in with a better radius than that even. Edit. Let's just do all radius coming in. Oh wow, let's thin that down a bit. I never realized this thing's so small. Oh yeah, that's better. Sure, we'll call that good. Our toolpaths are in order, but let's go and we'll just watch a simulation of both of these toolpaths cutting to start with. Let's get rid of all this just so it's not obscuring our view. Alright, oh, that was quick. That's slow. The speed thing is so dumb. Why can't it just be calibrated to go the speed that the program's set for? That's what I don't understand. It just drives me mental. And you can see that jump to that second program there. Okay, so we'll exit the simulation now. If you selected setup 3 and then went up to G-code, it would make the G-code for both these tool paths consecutively. But if I go over here and select just this one tool path and then go up and create G-code, like that, it'll just create G-code for that one profile 4, right? You don't see the next profile in here, but let's go into NC Viewer and we'll just look at this program of what it would cut. And can I just drag that over there? Yes. And we'll open that little piece of G-code. Open. So we can see it's just the and you can see in relationship how this is going to work out. Watch, we'll load the next one now. We'll go in and just create this one now. And the origins are the same. That's what I'm kind of getting at. And we'll call this cut, posted. Okay. And we'll go back to here and we'll open that up. You can see just by it flashing in between how that was going to line up, because this program's totally independent of Langmuir or Fusion 360 or whatever, and you can see it's even going to work in this program. So watch when I change from one file to another. It'll line up. Oh, I just did the cut file again. Let's just do that one. See, it's right where it needs to be. So that's how you export those separately while using the exact same setup, which is the important part, because then this origin lines up depending on whether it's this or this. They're the same origin, which is exactly what we want. So you could stop, load your new tools in, start the next program, and as long as your 0 point never changed, you're good. And if you needed to line it back up, you just have to line it up to the exact same 0 point that you started the same program with. And as long as that was good, yeah, see, it even did apply feed rate off to that, which is probably a good idea. Okay, I'm going to export this and send it back over to you. You can take a look, but yeah, you're getting close now. Yeah, and with the XR, I really wish they would have put this in this corner for the XR. I think it would have helped. But anyhow, the monitor would be like here, I think. I don't have an XR either. So I don't have marking consumables and I don't have an XR, but I think we're getting close here. Let's just check the simulation one more time. I feel like I'm missing part of the R maybe. Nope. Yeah, I think that would work great. All right, I'll send that over and see how it treats you. Thanks.